Here's Michael Olivier with Talking Wine.
I'm talking to Riaan Moller, who's the winemaker at the well-known Perdeberg winery in between Paarl and Wellington. Morning, Riaan.
Good morning, how's it going?
Well, thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm an ordinary bloke with a huge passion for wine and winemaking, born, bred, raised and cultivated in the Cape Winelands. Will never leave this place, married to a lovely wife, Simone, with a 13-year-old little baby daughter, and I drive her Suzuki Bakkie.
Good. Now, your Perdeberg wines, which certainly for me always over-deliver in terms of what you pay for them, are the Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot, the Shiraz and the Pinotage are all available on promotion at the moment in Checkers and Pick and Pay and Spar.
Yeah.
Let's go through the three of them and just tell us a little bit about what people can expect in terms of colour, in terms of smells, in terms of flavour. And let's talk about the Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot first.
Man, first of all, what I'd like to say and add to these wines before we chat about it, these wines are all made in a very modern and new world style. So that means all these wines are going to be very much fruit-driven. They're going to have a very nice and deep color to the wine. So they look very inviting and very enticing just looking at these wines. Obviously, on the palate, you'll have all these wonderful flavors punched down and really concentrated wines. If you look at the Cabernet Merlot, that's a very typical example of a blend of these two. I mean, usually people ask me, well, why do you put these two together? Well, generally people say that it's a Cabernet is a bit more full-bodied, where Merlot is a little bit smoother, and together with the same flavor profiles, they complement one another very nicely, where the Merlot then just smooths the Cabernet a little bit out.
And usually the sum parts is a greater wine, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And these blends usually tend up to be around about 60% Cabernet and 40% Merlot. We'll talk about a 60-40 blend. And and these wines are all, like I said, packed with fruit and flavor.
Brilliant. So let's talk then about the Shiraz, the Perdeberg Shiraz.
I'm a massive Shiraz fan, and 80% of my wine collection consists out of Shiraz. And same as the above, It's the Shiraz is packed with fruit, very aromatic, very juicy tannins, lots of white pepper, prunes, blackcurrant, those kind of flavors and fruits are all up front in the nose. And so also wine to have with Wildschweif potjie or braaivleis and those kind of things.
It's so funny. You took the words out of my mouth. I was just thinking with the venison season coming up, this is an absolutely ideal wine, isn't it?
Yeah, like a Boca Vin potjie or something like that.
Nice. I like that. Boca Van.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to Pinotage, the wonderful South African grape. I really do enjoy your Perdeberg Pinotage hugely.
Yeah, with Pinotage, we're so lucky to have all these raw products to our disposal. I mean, the Agterparel area is mainly consist of dryland bush vines, so that naturally gives us very concentrated and very fruity wines.
Absolutely.
So it gives a lot of building blocks to play around with in the cellar. And like the above wines also, it's packed with fruit and concentration. It's a really enticing wine. I mean, typical flavors that come front here is, I always think of sparberry, that's Sparletta cool drink, raspberry, strawberries, a little bit of vanilla from the oak, and a bit of coffiness also. And these flavors are all very prominent in this wine. These wines are all wines for any occasion, and one thing we tell people is, all of these wines, if you look at the price point, and you can't believe that you get a typical Pinotage, a typical Cabernet, typical Cabernet Merlot, typical Shiraz, and that's what I like and try to focus in these wines.
Absolutely. Riaan, we haven't got much more time, but your other wines that I really enjoy and which is the Chenin Blanc. I mean, you really are well known for the Chenin Blanc.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us, and we hope that our listeners will go out and look for the Perdeberg Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot, the Shiraz, and the Pinotage. Riaan, keep well.
Find out more about wine by visiting michaelolivier.co.za.